All right. Welcome everybody to the JNR Network. Tonight's guest we have 2004 Emmy Award winner, National Black Film Festival winner, Tribeca Film Festival winner, Bronze Lens Film Festival winner, two-time Emmy nominated, ABFF 2019 winner, cinematographer for a Heart That Forgives Too, No Ordinary Love, Harry Hines, Get Back Up, Black Clown, The Holy Ones, and many more. Mr. James Doohan.
What's up? What's up?
Jeez.
What's up, man?
What's happening, brother?
Saying all of that, man. I got to look back at my stuff now.
Yeah, man. Hey, that's what you are.
Yeah. No, yeah. For
Nah,
real.
you
A
kind of forget that,
beast.
because it's always a grind,
yeah, definitely for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you know.
Absolutely.
How
But
you how
yeah,
you
man.
how you been doing, man, since the last time
Man,
we
man. I mean, the last time me and you worked together, we were on this. I called it a hustle and film tour, where we were filming 65 days in a row straight,
man, that's
and
crazy.
we made it out though.
65.
But yeah,
That,
it was 65 days. There was 8 projects. six
that's
six movies and two television series. So we made it.
that's
That
crazy,
is,
man.
hey, so for the people watching,
Yeah.
if y'all want longevity in this, there has to be a battery pack put in your bag to be able to have stamina.
I'm trying to tell
Keyword
you.
is stamina, people. People be want to be in this business, but it's like, do you have the stamina to withstand
Yeah.
65 days
Man,
straight
that's
of
crazy.
any
Yeah.
kind of work in cinema? Like, that's a lot.
You
Yeah.
ended up in New York, right?
Yeah. So we
How
went
was
from
that?
we went from Dallas to Houston to New Orleans, flew to New York, and then flew to St. Louis, and then back to Dallas, and did 2 or 3 projects in Dallas.
Wow.
Nah, but New York was cool. That was my third or fourth time filming in New York. First time in Brooklyn. We got to film at the famous Above the Rim gym at
Mm-hmm.
that whole school. So that was cool. And we was working with Mark John Jeffries. Probably remember
Right.
him from he played little CEs, little
Yeah.
short guy, but now he's really
Definitely.
really talented guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's dope. Yeah, and that was in Dallas. You said no, that was in New York. No, you
Yeah,
said
in
Harry
Brooklyn.
Hines. Yeah, that's been Harry Hines. I'm waiting to see it, man. I got a lot of heavy hitting friends who are part of that
Yeah,
project.
yeah. Harry Hines is good. It's one of those projects whenever they finish editing, it's gonna be one of them ones.
Oh, dope. That's dope.
Gotcha.
That's dope. That's dope.
All
Well,
right,
yeah,
man.
man.
Diving
Icebreaker time.
into this icebreaker. If
Okay.
someone gave you a camera and said capture the feeling of your childhood in one shot, what would the shot look like?
I'd probably say like the movie The Sandlot. We was just literally like a group of little 4 or 5 kids, and we all kind of grew up together. It was really like we had a lot of kids in our neighborhood, so it was us just getting into shit over and over and over and again until
Yeah.
we grew up.
Funny.
And then when we went to high school, it was almost like Steven Spielberg wrote that for us. Like when we got to high school, everybody kind of separated and they kind of went their own way.
Wow, that's interesting. You picked a pivotal movie
For
and
real.
just like a part of. I feel like a movie that's a part of just pop culture in general.
Yeah,
That's like
yeah,
it's cool that you have something that matches what that is, or that you know. Because a lot of people just don't. It's so crazy because movies represent they are a part of
they
pivotal
represent
moments
life.
of our lives.
Yeah, they represent
Yeah.
life.
So yeah,
So
they
to
do.
me, that's the best movies when I could feel that as the writer just didn't write a story, just come up with something. You could tell that it was real life.
Hmm.
Right.
That's so interesting that you picked. Yeah, that you picked that movie. So I guess that would lead into my next question of like, what what sparked your love for the camera? Was it a moment, a film, or something personal? Like, what sparked that for you?
Well, I mean, I let me say this. I was kind of forced into it. My mom had this TV show on this public access channel for our church, and nobody volunteered. So I'm rolling with my mom's all the time, and she's like, learn the camera,"
Mm,
and that's what I did. I was 13 years old, so I had to get certified as a studio camera operator, basic
mm,
producer, and field producer. So I took the classes; they were free, and so now I could operate the studio cameras now. So every weekend I'm running cameras, and it became like fun, just seeing all the
yeah,
lights, cameras, and editing. So I was doing this at a very young age.
yeah. No, that's dope.
Dang.
So
Yeah.
it was one of those things where you're like you were ushered into it, and it just happened. I feel like a
Basically,
lot. That's a lot of the time that for some people as artists. I mean, that's a lot of our journeys. Is just something that came to us. Sometimes it was a choice, sometimes it wasn't. But our love for it grew
hmm
naturally. It's like the art found us. We didn't find
right,
it.
right,
Yeah.
So
right.
I
And I,
love
I was
that.
destined for it. I picked up on it so fast, and I was like really, really good at it. I'm like, okay, this is pretty cool, and
Yeah.
it led me to getting hired at CBS at 18 years old. Like, so
Wow.
I was just in it, and I was just engulfed in it. So,
In the
and
thick of it. Yeah.
yeah, so the passion became a lifetime of work.
Wow.
That's
That's
crazy,
good.
man. Dang. That's nice. It's nice to
Yeah,
even. I didn't even know that about you, man.
yeah.
All right.
So long ago, I'll be forgetting.
Well, we here to remind you tonight.
Right, right.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Do you remember the first time you saw yourself as more than a shooter, as a visual storyteller?
Yeah, I would say so. I remember I was living in New Orleans at the time, and we were all going to Dallas. I think the name of the record company or the radio station called Powerhouse, something like that. I
Hmm.
can't remember, but we were going there to pitch ourselves to film videos for this record label, and they were in the mall, and I remember listening to Nelly and Kelly Rowland song. You remember "No Matter What I Do," that little
Hmm.
song.
Yeah.
But I'm in the back seat. I got my eyes half closed, and I'm visualizing how the video should be. And I kid you not, maybe 70% of what I visualized in that back seat was how the real video came out. Because
Oh
I don't know
wow.
if you remember, Joseph, like back in the day, like the song used to come out before
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
music
yeah.
video.
Th-
So I'm in the backseat vibing to it, and I'm literally visualized 70% of the music video before it came out, and then that's when I remember like, man, I could really like really do this.
Man, yeah, because I do remember that. That's yeah, that was Nelly, wasn't it?
hmm
No
When they
matter
were in the
what I
car, and
do.
yeah, I say like
Yeah,
yeah,
man, I was in
but
high school, man.
yeah,
Yeah, you was
yep,
getting it.
yep,
Yeah, you was getting it.
yep. So
I wouldn't
that's when I
even.
kind of knew like my mind was thinking differently than other people.
Yeah, man, my mind wasn't even on that type of stuff at them ages.
Right, right, right.
So man, that's it's the fact that you said like it literally ended up being what
About
you so you
70,
knew you
75% of the
wow
video.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
wow but that's interesting that's I feel like that's interesting though because it's like you know it's a testament to the nature of like when you know something's for you and you're like oh yeah this is not a sixth sense but it's, this industry, you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, this person's a natural." And it's like, yeah, you have a natural inclination, but there's training that took place to craft
Hmm. Correct.
your artistry. So it leads to the next question: what did the grind look like? Because, and it's so funny because you said this. You had said, Joseph had kind of talked about all of your things, and you're like, "Oh wow!" Like, because sometimes you're so running and gunning that you don't even
Hmm.
realize, you don't stop to smell the roses. So
Right.
what did the grind look like before the accolades came? What did that look like for you
Shit, I
before the
was
notice?
poor. I was poor, piss poor.
Wow.
We were like four people in a 2 bedroom townhome. I think the rent was like 580 a month, and between four of us, and we were paying the rent late every month.
Wow.
Like it was a grind, like true dollar days. Like I can't spend more than two bucks a day on food. Like
Damn.
filming weddings and asking the ladies to fix me some extra food, like so I could take it home because they always got extra food at weddings. And
Yeah.
I just remember getting huge plate loads of rice and turkey and eating that all week until I did another wedding. Yeah,
Man.
it was a grind. It was a grind. Like in
Wow.
between, like
Yeah.
there's so much like internet access to jobs and job postings, and I mean you could DM Steven Spielberg right now if you wanted to. He might not respond, but 25 years ago they didn't have that. You couldn't touch these people that you see on the credits. So it
Yeah.
was really really hard. It was difficult to like get in the industry if you didn't know anybody. So it was just a grind, and I just didn't stop. But yeah, it was a lot of I call it my dollar days. They had these Tostitos pizzas that they used to sell.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were like 89 cents a piece, and I used to buy for
Man,
5 of them, and
I want
that
one
was
now.
Woo, man.
and eating cereal in the morning.
Yep.
That's uh
So
that's
that
just
that
a testament to, like, people don't understand how tough things can really be. Like, people
hmm
don't get it. Like, in this industry, people don't understand how tough. But I'm sure it altered your connection to the outcome. Like, it altered your. I'm sure it put this resilience in you to where it's like there's not really a lot that can stop, because you've experienced
right,
it. You've
right,
been through.
right. Yeah,
So
is a lot of resilience in this industry, and if you can't
yeah,
accept a no, then you're in the wrong business.
yeah,
Like I mean, still to this day, I get turned down weekly, daily. Like I consistently apply for jobs. I consistently get calls that lead up to nothing.
yeah,
So it is what it is.
yeah,
It really only takes one yes, and then I could be on that job for 3 or 4 months, and I'm good.
yeah.
Hmm.
And that's
You
good,
right
man.
about
You
that.
just be bless somebody with that, because it's resilience in this industry is the number one thing that people don't
Yeah,
really
Now,
understand.
that's why I believe I got ahead of a lot of people because I just didn't stop.
Yeah,
Like I had so many people against me, so many people like, man, just go get a regular job, go be a fireman, go do this, go do this. And I was just like, nah. So I was stubborn, still stubborn to this day.
hmm,
mm,
I
it
feel
worked
you,
out.
man. I
Yeah.
feel it. I do. I feel it. I feel that so much. And this leads me to, you kind of answered this, but I'm not sure if you did. If you did, let me know.
hmm
Um, what was the actual turning point where you knew cinematography was your lane?
Um, I would say
Where you just said, fuck everything, this is it. This is what I'm going for right now, forever.
it would be after the one and only time I quit. Um,
You quit.
yeah, one time I was going through a divorce, and I was getting threatened with putting on child support and this, and I wasn't making like really enough money to afford insurance and all that stuff came with being a father. So I stopped for like 3 months, and I worked at this chemical plant for at Halliburton. And my second month on the job, I was lifting a barrel, and I got a chemical spill on my right thigh, and I had a chemical burn. I had a second degree chemical burn on my right thigh. So I was out a whole month, and I remember going to their doctor, and their doctor was trying to clear me to go back to work, and I'm like, man, I could barely walk. And I get a call from Animal Planet to film this show called Gator Boys, and I was like, should I do it, or should I take the guaranteed, 72 hours a week job, or go do what I do for a month? And then so I took it. I was like, hey, this is it. I'm not looking back anymore. So I called him. I'm like, hey, I'm not coming back to work. I don't feel safe. Just gave him something like that. And I never looked back since. But I took it as a lesson. I was like, you know what? Your ass got burnt because you're not supposed to be doing this. So,
Right.
yeah. But yeah, that
That's
was the one and only time I did give up. It was just a whole lot going on. But it wasn't for me.
yeah.
And like I said, I didn't get calls for like 6 months, 6 or 8 months, and I was doing a lot of music videos at the time, and the music videos started drying out a lot. A lot of people were undercutting me. Um, I had stopped doing like videography work, and I started solely focusing on cinematography. And so that was like one of my big steps. And then once I got hired from them, I was like, let's just do it.
right. Man, that's cool, man. That's
Yeah.
cool. We lost Runson for a second. He had to
Okay.
switch. He had to switch mics, switch his phone.
Okay.
Um. So, what does making it mean to you now after winning an Emmy?
Making it means I actually got to grind a little bit harder. Believe it or not, like um, people, well, like a lot of smaller indies will use that Emmy against you, right? So they will not contact me because he has an Emmy. They will not. I'm serious. So it's like you start to look untouchable,
Mm.
and I can't afford this guy. Even though I'm trying to support my family, they won't even call me.
So to
So
them, you
now,
kind of look overqualified.
right, overqualified. So now now I have to leverage that Emmy into like my next step of major feature films. So, and I see it. I see like I don't want to say non-professional people, but just a lot of people just jump into film industry for the wrong purposes. A lot of people, money is a hustle,
Right.
or they use it as a side thing. They just film on the weekends. So, but
Right.
this is what I do for a living. So a lot of people just don't really focus on it. So I see that more now. But like I said, it's just making me get pushed to the next level
Right.
of of I don't want to say major, but yeah, just major filming.
Hmm. I get what you mean. I, ain't no way, ain't nowhere else to go but up now.
Right, right. And it's another challenge, which I don't mind.
Right.
So,
Okay. All right.
Sorry about that, y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah,
yep,
we got you, man. We just jumping into the second segment, the craft and the camera.
Y'all can hear me okay?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, cool. So, the craft and the camera. What did y'all stop? What did y'all leave off at, Joseph?
First question.
The first question.
Yeah.
So, this is a really, really good one. what's something about cinematography people completely misunderstand?
They think if you just pop in any camera from Best Buy, shoot it, and it's going to look like Tyler Perry movies. Yeah,
That's funny.
nah, it's like just dealing with inexperienced people. It takes a team. It takes lighting. It takes the right correct lenses, um, and see where I stop at lighting and lenses because it's not about I call them label whores. Oh, we got to shoot with a red. Oh, we got to shoot with an iron. This and that. We're all basically shooting in the same raw format. So if you're shooting raw, I could make my image look like any camera. So, but
I've seen it.
it all starts with lighting and lenses.
I've seen him do it.
Yeah.
Man, that's a word right there.
I can vouch
Yeah,
for you,
that's
brother.
a word right there. It's important because people do have those misconceptions. I mean, I feel like there's all parts of the craft, all facets of the craft that people have common misconceptions. And even people who don't do what we do, they're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, I could do that," and then you
Nah,
put a script in their hands and they clam up because
yeah.
they
Yeah.
can't do it.
Yeah. And to me, it's kind of like I looked at it like this. I did so many jobs behind the camera, right? Like I filmed churches, I filmed
Mhm.
weddings, I filmed plays, balls, everything like news, reality TV, movies. Like I did it all. So I think I have a better understanding than a lot of other people. But just my approach. Not saying that I'm the best at what I do. I just I'm so all around and well versed that I can adapt to different situations, and that's what a lot of other cinematographers that's what they lack.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good. That is good.
good info too. All right. How do you visually translate emotion like love, pain, or fear through light and lens?
It's all through. I mean, the choice of lenses, number one. Knowing which focal length to choose in that right emotional state, and just basically knowing the script and then knowing how to light that scene, and then also keeping a continuous lighting pattern throughout the whole entire feature. So I mean, you got to know. I have a log book where I log down all my settings and from past movies where I could kind of cross reference my own self. Oh yeah, I did this for this movie, so I go back to my settings. So it's kind of like my little cheat book that I do.
Hmm. We can't hear you, Joseph.
So you have it broken down to where it's like, okay, somebody's supposed to be afraid, or this is a deep dark situation. So you have it all broken down how what
Yeah,
this lighting should look like.
yeah, because after a while, once you do so many features, it I don't want to say is repetition, but it is. The only thing that's just changing is the vessels, the actors that's in front of you, and maybe the locations. But you're pretty much going to do the same thing. Once you
Yeah,
get your coverage.
Okay,
that's good. I
I
mean,
never
shoot.
knew
Speaking
that.
of speaking of kind of like having a cheat book, or I feel like from an actor's perspective, it's like having our process, right? That's how that would be translated.
Mhm.
And I know with a lot of times process changes for me as an actor. Process changes with each project. Sometimes, well, the process that I have, there's a basis of it, but maybe one character will bring out a process that's different that I needed to apply. So I sell that to ask as far as your cheat book that you talked about or your process. Um, what's one project where I feel like it stretched you, where it pushed your creative, it pushed your creativity the hardest? What project did that for you?
I would say No Ordinary Love, one
Mm,
of the films that I did here in Dallas, um, and it was a very limited crew. We shot 16, 17 hours every day, 14 hours. 14 days, excuse me.
Wow.
And but it had been 5 or 6 years gap since my last feature because you kind of get pigeonholed into one genre. But it had been 6 years since I did a feature, so just getting that muscle memory back was a little challenging for myself. But it came out well though. It was kind of like riding a bike, kind of stumbled at the beginning and then boom, took off.
No, that's so good to be creatively pushed or stretched or to know, oh, I don't want to do this, or not that I don't want to do this, but there's something more beyond this that requires more of me, because sometimes as artists we can hit a plateau where we're
Right,
used to doing this and it's like, man, we long for, I think those are the best types of artists, the people who don't get comfortable in that plateau, but there's something that's missing, that's not feeding them, so now they want more of it,
right,
so
right.
yeah, I love that a lot.
Right.
Good.
How how do you balance artistic freedom with the director's vision?
That's all in pre-production. Like if you're not with speaking with your director, your producer, or the toys that you can have on set, and the vision is it's going to clash. Um, it will clash. Like you got to be very vocal about what you want for your style and your style to fit in with the director's style. So, but if you don't do that in post, you're going to be one mad cinematographer the whole movie. You're like,
And arguing the whole time.
yeah,
Which you don't want that. I
yeah.
get that.
There's a couple of features, out here that I did was we didn't really have a pre-production, so it's
Wow,
just
wow.
kind of guessing on set. So, but I was able to do it because I filmed non-scripted things, right? So we were able to think on the fly. But not knowing that director's style, it was a lot of clashing.
Mm,
So yeah, I want coverage. This
yeah,
director didn't want coverage. He was good with
wow.
one takes, and I'm like, it's killing me.
He was good with that two shot. He was
But
good
but
with that
that
two shot.
that but that was his style,
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
very, very old style of shooting, letting the actors tell the story instead of a lot of cuts. But
Yeah, wow.
yeah, so it was mentally it was a struggle. So like day 3 or 4, I kind of put my hands up, like I'm not getting no coverage. So it is what it is.
Yeah. No, no,
And
that's good. I mean, it kind of goes towards, you kind of, in so many words, you just harped on the concept of preparation and how, you weren't really phased by a quote unquote, not necessarily lack of preparation, but a difference in process that isn't a reflection of your process, or you didn't have the opportunity, or you weren't really able to communicate and find a common ground between your process and the director's process. And so what allowed you and helps you was preparation. And I think preparation is, every artist a part of the craft. Preparation prevents the good perform. When people would say that, especially if you played sports, it was like you got to prepare, prepare, prepare. So that leads to the next question, which is, when the pressure is on, what's your mindset walking into a difficult shoot? How do you prepare? What is the first thing you attack when you feel like you're walking into a difficult shoot, or what is something that makes it not difficult before you walk into it?
Um, I just have something that I do every time. If if we block it, I can see it right now. I send the actors off to hair and makeup after we block it, and then me and my team can light it, and then I'm bringing the number twos. We rehearse it with the twos, get all the kinks out, and then the ones come in. So now it's a full rehearsal, full walkthrough. and then now we shoot it. And that, to me, I follow those steps, and those steps keep me away from hard situations.
Wow, that's a process. And when you say the twos, you mean like this two on the call sheet, right?
No, like stand-ins.
Okay, great. Wanting to
So
clarify, great. Y'all getting
yeah,
some,
Hmm.
y'all getting some knowledge. I love that. Stand
yeah,
and it's a testament to you know the experience and like you said the preparation because some people wouldn't even know. And for our audience members out there who are watching who are aspiring filmmakers, that's why
hmm
you guys need to pay attention. Having those twos in, having those
It's
stand-ins
levels
in,
to this shit.
yeah, having those it's rules to it, have its levels to it. You're a
yeah,
stand-in, but who are you a stand-in for? You know what I'm
right,
saying? And
right,
you get to get access to this bigger set, and some people wouldn't glorify being a stand-in. And there are
correct,
no small roles, only small actors. So that's a whole other story for a whole other
right,
time. Yeah,
right.
I love that process. So yeah, no, that was dope. So now the next segment, man, the real
The real
shit.
shit.
Yeah, the real. Yeah,
All right, well, I'm not gonna ask you the first question because you answered it already.
you did. Yeah.
Okay.
Um, have you ever been on set where you knew your value was being underestimated, and how did you handle it?
Um, yeah. I mean, I try not to be cocky. I try to stay humble, but
Yeah.
sometimes you got to kind of let them know who you are. Like, um, especially on a lot of sets where there's a lot of Caucasians.
Mm-hmm.
So, uh, we're still kind of not. I don't want to say frowned upon,
Yeah.
but people look at me and they're like, "Oh, well, he's just a regular cameraman or whatever." And then when
Yeah.
you start when they actually do like look you up and like, okay, so this dude is legit. I remember when the strikes were happening, and this is a true story. Um, the Final Four was here in Dallas, and somebody recommended me to film a segment for ESPN. No, not even ESPN. I think it was Bleacher Report, and they had me on the dummy kick, which you just hold the wide.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy walked up to me and he was like, "Man, you look super familiar, man. I've seen you before." I'm like, "Yeah, you probably saw me on IG or whatever posting." He said, "Yeah, that's where you were on SOC's website. I was one of their featured cinematographers." And like this guy, clear, like he recognized me, right? But he kept checking on me every 5 minutes, looking at my shots, looking at my shots. I'm like, dude, this is a wide shot, right? But it's like little things like that, and then you got to kind of like bring them back to earth. Like, hey, look, man, I don't want to say I'm more qualified than you, but but I just try to keep it humble.
Yeah. I think that's important. I think it's important to keep things humble, but at a certain to a certain extent, it gets to
Yeah,
a point to where your work speaks for itself, and
right.
I feel like it's up to us to do that on certain sets because it's
Hmm.
kind of like you have to make that known. And I think
It
it's
is.
it's important for you to do that because the truth of the matter is you're a cinematographer, but and it's levels to it. Obviously, by your story, you're
Right,
not just a cinematographer; you're a black cinematographer,
which is another
right?
challenge in
Which is
itself.
another, and it leads to our next question. As a
Yeah.
black cinematographer, what has your journey taught you about representation and ownership?
Well, representation is number one. I remember when I first started. Oh, hold on one second.
Yeah, you're
Uh
good.
huh. Okay. That's dope. Yep. Yeah. We're on set right now.
Oh
we're in
God,
lunch room.
well, the thick of
So
it.
nah, but representation. I remember kind of being humbled by one of my mentors. Um, I used to only hire like white boys to kind of like fit in on the set, and then it was my guy in Houston, Brett. He was my first like true mentor, and we had an all black set, and that was the first time I saw that, and this was 2013. And he was like, "Nah, Jimmy, like this, you got to hire your people." Like, and it
Yeah.
just kind of, I didn't know it was cool to have an all black set.
Yeah.
And then now, even before 2020 and equal rights and on sets and all of this, I made it my due diligence to now focus solely on uh, black, brown, yellow people, like because I didn't see that on sets coming up in the late '90s and early 2000s. I was basically I was token on set,
Mm.
but now like I make it a point. I mean, I could FaceTime you and you can see my crew. I got two ladies on my team right now. I got an Asian guy interning for me right now. I got a black AC, little Zion. So like I come with it now. So and I'm about it because I have a lot of industry friends, and then I look at all their pictures because we all take set pictures, rap pictures, and still to this day I see all white sets. So they until they change that, I'm going to have all black sets.
Yeah. You're the prototype in that regard.
Yeah.
You have to lead by example with representation, and
Hmm.
as we have the ability to do that, especially when you build a name. I feel like
Yeah.
that's the main thing. When you build that, it's like now you have a duty and responsibility
Yeah. I
to
do.
push that representation even more. So yeah, that's really really dope. That's
Yeah, it
really
is.
I do. So
At this point, what does legacy mean to you beyond the credits?
mm,
I want. I have four kids. I'm about to be a grandfather as well, and I want them to be, like when I'm gone or in my 80s, 80s, 90s, like my dad was something else, and that definitely means a lot because and I have three girls, and they love their dad so much, so I want to leave a great legacy and a name behind.
Hmm. Yeah,
mm.
I do.
I mean, I love that. I think regarding just legacy, it's something that you're leaving behind,
Hmm.
and it also connects to the fact that you're leaving this legacy that's still being made in this very moment, like you're on set right now.
Right.
But then you also talked about how, like I said, I'll take it back to earlier when Joseph was talking about all your accolades, and you're like, "Damn, I didn't know, I didn't know I had that much." It leads
Yeah.
to the next one, which is like, and it also leads to this other thing as far as legacy of individuality and you just being you. Like, how do you
Hmm.
not? And I always like to ask. There's a great question that Joseph brought that Joseph came up with, but I always like to ask people and creatives of a high caliber because this is something that a lot of artists deal with. Comparison is a
Hmm.
thief of joy. A lot of artists deal with this next question I'm about to ask, especially in this day and age. How do you stay sharp when the world's moving fast and everyone is grabbing a camera? Everyone.
I'm a student. Um,
Yeah.
every night I'm watching tutorials. Believe it or not, I'm a fan of YouTube. I watch everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone is a master lighter. So let me see what you're working with. So I watch and watch constantly because our technology is changing so much on a daily basis. So
Yeah.
I stay up to speed. Like I see these little young kids like doing crazy stuff with their phones, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's amazing. So hey, you got to stay with it, or you're gonna get left behind.
Yep. True
Man,
that.
dude.
Say that again. True.
But I am
Yeah.
a of the game.
What happened to you?
Bro, please be quiet, bro.
Where did Where did he go, George? Oh, there you go.
Yeah, yeah, they're calling me. I got 5 minutes left. I got to get back.
Oh
Oh,
man.
you want to just go straight
They
to the to that closer?
they told me I asked for an hour, but they just give me
Okay,
45 minutes.
we can get we
Yeah.
honestly.
We can skim through. Um, let's see. Any advice you'd want to give someone who wants to win awards but hasn't touched a real set yet?
Man, try to like always keep like a camera in your hand. Like I'm looking at these trees right now, and I'm looking at this college campus. You can see behind me, and turn the world into basically a film set. Like I'm looking at all the pretty B-roll that I'm gonna film here in the next couple of days. Like my mind is conditioned to always be thinking about this.
Yeah,
So as a young person, like just go out and mess up and keep doing what you do. Like you can't. There's no wrong. Like look at music videos. It's so unorthodox filming, and that's what makes music videos music videos. And then once you want to step into movies and you're not getting a real shot at shooting movies, make one of those music videos into a movie. And I remember doing that all the time. Like that was my style. Like making movies, like making music videos, movies, and it translated into me making movies. So just there, I mean, and it is no excuses now. I remember not being able to afford cameras, but now you could do all this stuff on your iPhone. So just
Right.
just go out there and just man, just hustle.
man,
Because
that's
I
some
know.
advice.
those will let you know the biscuits we had in early 2000. You couldn't make it nothing
Yeah,
on the next.
no, Joseph is my OG. He lets me know the
For
time difference.
real, for real.
We could barely chirp down the street.
You know it.
But
You know it. All right, we gonna skip into the rapid fire real fast, man. These are quick series of questions you can answer right off top of your head. Hit them, Runson.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say it again, Joseph.
Hit the rapid fire questions.
Oh, rapid fire. Favorite camera setup.
Sony Venice,
One film you wish you shot.
Life,
Cinematographer that inspires you.
Bradford Young.
That probably takes some time to explain. A project that humbled you.
I mean, you're kind of breaking up. You sound like a robot.
A
A pro-
project that humbled you.
Um, the many ones I got fired from because I've been fired from sets before, and then
Okay.
you go out and see it on TV and be like,
you breaking up. You sounding distorted now.
Well, man, go ahead and close
yeah.
us out, Joseph.
All right, man. You want to give any final shout outs and where people can find you at? No.
Jeez, dang, his connection needed correction.
Okay. So, if anyone is looking for him, if you're looking for this cinematographer, I will help you out.
Yeah.
Okay, for on Facebook, he is James Duhon, Duhon. On Instagram, he is DP underscore Jimmy James. On Instagram, he is DP underscore Jimmy James.
Yeah.
You're looking for him. You need a great DP, a Emmy Award winning DP. Call Mr. James Duhon. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, we are at the end of our segment
Yep.
for 7 o'clock show. We will return at our 9 o'clock show with Miss no, I'm just playing with Mr. Arthur Muhammad, another award-winning producer, and Mr. BET. He will be
Yeah.
here at 9 o'clock. See you guys then.
See y'all then.
Peace.
Peace, bro. Wow.